Everyone at some point in their career has the opportunity to give back. This was my time. A lot of people depend on Hall Neighborhood House, including the staff. That's their livelihood. Our mission is to educate, empower, enrich, the local residents of the east side of Bridgeport. I really don't have to say much. I just need to bring them in, and the place kind of speaks for itself.
Thanks for joining the BizCast powered by Google. I'm Amanda Marlowe. Today we are joined by Nick Sentementes, Director of Development at Hall Neighborhood House. Welcome.
Thank you, Amanda. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you making the drive up to Hartford today. Tell us a little bit about Hall Neighborhood House, where it is and who you guys serve.
I would love to. Hall Neighborhood House has been around. Next year will be our 140th year anniversary. It's a large community center serving the people on the east side of Bridgeport. We serve about 500 people on a daily basis. We have numerous programs. One is our preschool and childcare, and we have about 275 children. Then in the afternoon, we have about 60 elementary and middle school students who show up and 20 high school students. We also have a senior center. And we also have a health clinic and a dental clinic, and we have some nice partnerships with some local universities, and nursing students come over and help.
So there's no down moments.
No, it's a busy place. Like I said, there's about 500 people who roll through every day, and it's busy from 7 a.m. to about 9 o'clock 9 p.m. in the evening. We have basketball clinics and soccer clinics for the kids.
And how did Hall Neighborhood House begin?
So there was a woman named Sarah Hall who in the late 1800s came to Bridgeport, and she opened her house to immigrant women and their children and was helping them find jobs and sign their kids up for school. And then over the years, it expanded into downtown Bridgeport and turned into more of a community center. And then in the mid-50s, it moved over to its current location on the east side. And it's just, there's a lot of need out there. And we serve the east side community, so a lot of the people walk there, and they're from the local neighborhood. And we have transportation for our seniors twice a week. We have a bus that will go and pick them up if they need transportation, but it's mostly just for the east side.
Okay. And in terms of operational funding, where does that come from?
I would say 70% of it is government funding, federal and state, and 30% is private, individuals, corporations, and prominent donors that have been supporting us for years. It's a really great place.
Really kind of helps grow the mission.
It's an easy place to support.
And so you're relatively new to the organization. Tell me about, your background and then what brought you, you kind of stumbled upon them.
I did. So after 30 years of commercial and equipment financing, commercial banking, I decided I wanted to do something else. And I spoke to a couple of people in the nonprofit world, and everyone I met were lovely people, and I found a sense of camaraderie because in banking, it's more competitive. In the nonprofit world, whether you're fundraising for a hospital or a private high school, everyone's kind of helping each other, sharing their thoughts and ideas, best practices, and it's very, everyone's looking to assist each other, which is nice. It's a different environment. And
one shared goal, no matter where you are.
That's right. So it's not really that competitive. We're trying to help each other because we're all trying to help nonprofits, which is a great thing to do. So. And
so you had, decided gonna throw my hat down, or I guess in banking, you're not really, maybe just the tie.
That's right.
To the side. And you came across this organization?
I was introduced to Bob Zarenda, who's the executive director, and I met him 8 months ago for a coffee just to pick his brain, get some insight from him on the nonprofit world. He used to be a business owner himself, and he's been the executive director at Hall Neighborhood House for about 10 years now. So I just wanted to learn more from him and how he pivoted. And we were talking, and we kind of connected, and he said, I could probably use you at Hall Neighborhood House, and he invited me down. And once I was there, between him and all the staff and the building and all the kids and the people we serve, it was easy decision to join.
Was there anything that surprised you the most about, walking into this different work environment?
Just the collegial nature, just everyone's pleasant, and I've never had so many people say good morning and thank you. It's just a really nice work environment.
How do you think your business experience has kind of helped you in this new role?
Well, my experience with like client relationships and business development. So on the business development side, instead of speaking to business owners or corporate executives, I'm dealing with individuals, and I'm also dealing with corporations as well, looking for support through their foundations. So I think my skill set was a perfect fit. And one thing about nonprofits, in order to be successful, you have to run them like a business. And a lot of people depend on Hall Neighborhood House, including the staff. That's their livelihood. So our leadership team is mostly people with business backgrounds, and Bob runs it as a business, and it really works well that way.
How many people work for Hall Neighborhood House, like as employees versus volunteers?
The volunteers range, but there's about 120 employees. Some are part-time, but we have at least 90 in our preschool and childcare. That's the big part of the business.
Yeah.
A lot of little kids. And they're all wonderful. And the only problem is sometimes these people are looking to get into maybe teaching full-time. So always constantly looking for new people, which is
a lot of turnover.
You
kind of get your foot in the door and then they want to move on.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll come back as volunteers though.
But what the other nice thing is, what really surprised me is the family atmosphere of the community center. So we have some people who work there that were kids in the preschool program growing up. They stayed in the neighborhood, and there's some other people who, parents are involved, and they went there when they were kids. So it's kind of a family environment. It's really nice.
Yeah. Is that one of the parts that you like the most, or is there a part of the job that you find the most rewarding?
The most rewarding for me is going out and meeting interesting, successful, generous, philanthropic people that want to help. And that makes it worthwhile.
I know, the Hall Neighborhood House isn't just a place, for kids to go to school or after school or in the summer. There's a lot about teaching skills. For especially the after school programming. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Our afternoon programs for like the elementary. Well, first of all, let me start with the preschool. So the kids, if they come early and they're at Hall Neighborhood House for 5 years, they're ready for kindergarten. They're prepared, as opposed to not having any type of preschool training. These kids are ready for kindergarten. So Hall Neighborhood House does a great job. And the goal is to keep these kids until they're 18. And once they leave for kindergarten, it's not they're finished with Hall. They continue to come with the elementary, the middle school program, and the high school program. And then when they reach the age of 18, they can decide if they want to go to college, get a job, join the military. So we want to give them, hold on to them as long as we can. And we provide a lot of great activities and services for them. For the younger kids, we help them with their homework. Help them with if they need to write essays. For the high school kids, it's a lot of focus on college prep. And in the summertime, we have a high school summer program where the kids, they take them on campus tours and really expose them to the world of college if that's something they're interested in. So it's a really comprehensive, newborn to 18, to try to keep the kids motivated and busy.
Try to really keep them engaged. And,
Absolutely.
Become productive citizens after.
Absolutely.
That's great. I think a lot of it is also, we talk about workforce here in Connecticut. It's so important to have these students that have, gone through these types of programs. I know recently you guys have also worked on like a STEM lab. Can you talk about that?
Sure. So Hall has a STEM classroom, and the kids love it. We have 3D printers, we have iBots, we have microscopes, and the kids really think they love STEM as much as they love gym.
How long have you guys had that?
We've had it for a couple years. Okay. And what we've decided, there was a gentleman who was a longtime educator, Alan Wallach, who was a longtime Bridgeport educator who passed away a few years ago, and some of his friends wanted to do something in his honor and memory. And one of our prominent donors wanted to start a STEM program for Bridgeport Public Schools, grades K through 8. he was very generous and created the funding for this STEM program. And the goal was to put a STEM classroom in all 30 of the Bridgeport K-8 public schools. And to date, there are 22 have been completed.
Wow.
And we have 8 more to go. And we've had nothing but great results and good publicity regarding it. And the key is we have 2 Hall STEM classroom teachers who go out to the schools and train the teachers at each school.
Okay.
Provide the curriculum, we provide the equipment. It's no cost to the Bridgeport public schools. And we're there for them. And if something happens to a piece of equipment, be in charge of getting it repaired or replaced. So it's an ongoing program that needs ongoing funding, but it's been well received. And, just because some of the children are underserved doesn't mean they shouldn't be exposed to STEM like some of the other affluent surrounding communities. So it's a wonderful program, and we're going to keep it going.
Do they kind of use the curriculum that the students are maybe getting in their classrooms and then also translate that when they come after school?
They do. They would want to continue, and it's really popular. I've gone into the classroom, and the kids it's fun, but they're also learning. They like the fun aspect of it, but they don't realize that they're also learning quite a bit. So that's what makes it great.
Yeah.
The interest is there.
It gives them, good insight into different careers that they could possibly get into.
If a couple kids are interested in being a scientist because of being exposed to STEM, or they want to be an engineer, it's totally worth it. And they need to, it's showing them something new. It's really great.
So I think that's probably one example of, how the Hall Neighborhood House, yes, you guys work in your, in your 4 walls, so to speak, but also, are continuing programs outside. Are there any other programs that are kind of throughout the community and not just?
Well, with our health clinic, we have Sacred Heart and Fairfield U nursing students who come and they check the vitals of the seniors, and they come out once a week. So they get some clinical hours and some credits.
Okay.
And also providing a service to our seniors, making sure they're healthy. And so we have some partnerships out there, but we're always looking for more to work with the community.
What other ways can businesses get involved?
Well, the businesses, most nonprofits need community and business support. It's very important, especially now with the federal government, with the funding being kind of up in the air. It's very important that the business communities step up. And business communities have been great. It's just what Hall Neighborhood House needs to do is just we need to bring in more people and show them what we do, because it's a hidden gem on the east side, and a lot of people have never heard of Hall Neighborhood House. So we're bringing in people, and I really don't have to say much. I just need to bring them in, and the place kind of speaks for itself.
That's kind of what drew you in, right?
It did. It really did. Between the staff and the building and all the people, it's just a wonderful place.
Yeah. How do you ensure like all the programs, are kind of up to date with what's going on elsewhere?
Well, the STEM staff are very qualified, very highly educated individuals, and they stay current on STEM changes and things like that. So, we're very, like I said, Bob runs Hall Neighborhood House like a business, and we make sure everything is in order, and it's a really great place. One other thing I wanted to mention, in terms of my business background, I kind of try to look at some things that other people might not look at. And I noticed we have 2 buildings, and the electricity is kind of expensive. And with the help of Tom Guerra and CBIA Energy Services, we were able to negotiate a new electricity contract for Hall Neighborhood House that begins this October. And we locked in for 2 years, and then we're going to save over $20,000 in electricity costs, thanks to CBIA and being a member and utilizing some of the member services. So thank you, CBIA.
Oh, that's good. You're kind of always looking at ways to find. I mean, I think a lot of people are in business, but especially in the nonprofit world, you've got to find ways to be able to cut costs.
Absolutely. You have to look at everything and look at it all the time and make sure the pricing is correct.
Besides the financial contributions that businesses make, why do you think it's so important for them to be involved, in organizations like Hall Neighborhood House?
Because we're all in it together. I mean, it's, our mission is to educate, empower, enrich, the local residents of the east side of Bridgeport. And, downtown Bridgeport is right down the road, and we're all in it together. So it makes sense for business community to want to be involved. Our motto is, together we can make life better. So that says it all.
Yeah, and you're serving so many different groups of people,
Really are.
Different ages, especially.
It's a, some of the other community centers, they might not start until in the afternoon once the kids are let out of school. Well, like I said, we're 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. It's a busy place, but it's a wonderful place.
Yeah. I mean, just the amount of kids you have in the daycare programs, preschool,
they're so cute. They
wild.
Walk around holding hands in the playground. It's really nice.
Yeah. Have you guys made any changes like in recent years, or what can people expect to see in upcoming years?
Well, we're looking at we have a waiting list for all our programs. So we're in the process of trying to add 10,000 square feet to our building. So we're going to do an expansion. Then we're also looking down the road. There's a piece of property next door where we're thinking about starting a capital campaign and putting in a playground and a soccer field, maybe a splash pad for the summer for the kids to get wet a little bit. There's a lot of things on the drawing board.
Yeah.
All good.
Just trying to help, keep expanding programs and options for the students.
Yeah, like I said, we have a waiting list, and we would like to get our expansion done and add maybe 60 seats more for people and kids.
What does that tell you with a waiting list like that? The need is there?
The need is there, and the people who know Hall Neighborhood House in the east side, they just love it. I mean, we have prominent donors that are always involved in volunteering. And, this past Thanksgiving, we handed out 400 turkeys and to the seniors across the street and also the families. And we do other events. We turn our parking lot into a trunk or treat around Halloween, and all the kids who come to Hall Neighborhood House, their parents show up and they get candy, and we have hot dogs and music. So there's always a lot of activities going on, which is great.
Any events coming up this summer that people can kind of get a taste of what you guys do? Sure.
If they're interested, they can go to our website, Hall Neighborhood House, and we have a celebrity event that we have every June. And this year it's on Thursday, June 26th. It's early, 7 a.m., so it doesn't cut into work time. And it's always a sports theme. And this year our celebrity guest is James Jones, who's the men's basketball coach at Yale University. And, there's more information on our website, but that's our fundraiser for the June, early summer. And it's always well attended. It's at the Fairfield Theater Company, the warehouse, right next to the Fairfield train station. And promise to get everyone out by 9:30 so they can get to work on time.
Yeah. You know how to get those types of events, and you've been to those right before.
Absolutely.
That way you can get to the office and really
right.
get some time in. As you kind of reflect on your time at Hall Neighborhood House, looking back at your career, what do you think? I mean, it was a big leap to take. What made you, go all in and
everyone at some point in their career has the opportunity to give back if they can. And this was my time.
Yeah, you needed to keep yourself busy.
It's my opportunity. I love it.
Yeah. What do you think, what advice do you have for, maybe people who were in a similar situation to you, ready to retire, kind of move on and do something a little bit more rewarding? What's your advice to them?
Find something that you're passionate about. Some people like to fundraise for private schools, cancer centers, hospitals. I think I read there's 1.8 million nonprofits in the United States. So there's plenty of them out there. Find something that you're interested in, passionate about, and go visit. ask the questions, learn more about it, and find something you really like. And it's very easy.
Doesn't feel like work as much as your last job.
It doesn't feel like work at all. It's more connecting with people and helping. Like I said, our motto is together we can make life better.
That's great. I love to hear that. And what about for nonprofit leaders? We have a lot of those listeners as well. What advice do you have for them, especially in these, maybe challenging funding times?
Yeah, things are still evolving. The important thing is to really keep an eye on expenses. You really, and transparency. A lot of, you want to have a good reputation. People, especially potential donors, even corporations, they have to have a comfort level before they want to support any organization. So being open and transparent is very important.
And if businesses are interested in, doing more to partner, they can contact you? Absolutely.
Important thing is to come visit. We're always open and we welcome everyone.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for being a guest on the BizCast.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
And thank you for listening to this week's BizCast. You can listen, like, and subscribe to our podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Please leave us a review and let us know if you have ideas for a future podcast. And for more episodes, head to CBIA.com.